The Meddlesome Meeples present the Quest Report with Matt and Richard.
Well, welcome to the Quest Report, and today we're going to be talking about something that could have been one of our Tiny Meeples big talks. It could have been who would win, a bear or a baby, which would be a pretty quick one, I think.
I think it would be fairly one-sided for a Tiny Meeples big talk, but it depends on the baby. If it was Superman's baby, you never know.
Yeah, so we never didn't
Depends on the
specify
bear.
what
It could be like the zombie bear.
It could already be dead.
Yeah.
But yeah, instead of talking about it in big talk, we have a whole game on that very subject, bears versus babies. So we've got a Quest Report about it today.
Now, this is a recently delivered Kickstarter. It's from the same people who brought you Exploding Kittens. Dun dun dun.
That's scary.
And it's, again, a card game that's meant to be more humorous than it is serious.
You don't say.
I mean, this with Exploding Kittens is even less serious, I think, than this game.
Right.
This one has got more depth to it as a game than Exploding Kittens has.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a very straightforward game, isn't it? You start off, you're given, once you're playing the full game, because there is like that introductory round setup, you're given a bear card. Bear, B-A-A-R, not beer as in drinking, a bear card.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, bears versus babies. It could have been like a toddler versus a six-pack of Stella or something, couldn't it?
Bears versus babies would have been interesting. Yeah.
But yeah, you're given a bear card, which you can be used for any colour, because there are 3 colour categories in the game: red, blue, and green, and they represent land, sea, and air. And the idea is that you are drawing cards and playing those cards to build monsters.
Building monsters, that's what it should have been
Yeah.
called, really. Because bears feature in it a bit. Well, yeah, bears are like the special cards, aren't they?
Yeah.
And what your monster is depends on what head it's got. So, like, the heads are the important thing.
They decide whether it's a land, sea, or air category.
Yeah, and they have an initial strength, don't they? Mostly it's 2. But for the bears, it's normally 3. So I suppose, yeah, bears are the special ones.
The bears are more valuable, but they're also more vulnerable to unfriendly provoking, which again is a strange sentence that I didn't expect to be saying today. But basically, yeah, you're on your turn. You could take 3. Well, the actions are dependent on the number of players. We played this a few 3-player games, and so
Yes.
that meant we had 3 actions each on a turn. Although you can, certain cards you play will allow you to take extra actions as well.
Yeah.
So on your turn, you are looking, because there's no hand limit, you're going to draw some cards, and you are going to play them, if you can, to create monsters.
So you need quite a bit of space in front of you, don't you?
Yeah.
Because some of the monsters can be quite big. You can have a head, a torso, legs, arms, and tools. So their hands can actually be holding tools.
So I've just drawn a few cards and I've made a monster. This is a Pterodactyl made of meat and pain, wearing spooky cat feet.
Yeah, so you read the cards downwards, and it
Yeah.
always kind of makes a sentence about the monster.
Yeah.
And to me, that was my favourite bit of the game, I thought. Because like you end up with the legs. Some of the legs could run at the speed of light and things like
Yeah.
that. So, yeah.
But it's a very basic game, isn't it? Because you're on your turn, you're going to draw some cards, you're going to play a few cards. You don't have to draw if you've got enough cards to make it. If you've got the cards in your hand that you just want to put down, you can spend your turn playing all those cards. That's one option. Another option is do a dumpster dive action, which is to go into the discard pile
Dumpster dive.
and pick a card out, or you can provoke one of the armies. Now, when you provoke...
Provoking babies.
Babies.
All the types of turns sound funny.
Yeah. When you provoke a baby, you turn the cards in that stack face up, because whenever you draw a baby card from the pile, it goes straight into the relevant baby army. And
You're just making me laugh by saying these things.
so there's the fake baby in this baby army. There is a new jet ski baby. There is a super ugly crab baby. There's a Portuguese mano baby. And there's a baby torpedo. Now, tallying all that up, that has a combat strength of 8. So you would be looking for the relevant monster types, the sea monsters that everyone's created, and you're looking for an army with more than 8 to beat it, because if there's a tie, it's basically a draw. And if you beat it, and you're the highest pointer out of the armies that have beaten it, you get that baby army as points for the end of the game.
But all the sea monsters get discarded, don't they?
They go to your hand. The monsters you use get discarded.
Yeah.
The sea monsters, but the sea babies go to your... Well, not really your hand, just your trophy deck.
Your pile of dead
babies, yeah. And that's basically the game, and it's just waiting for the draw piles to run out and to see who's got the most points at the end.
Now, it doesn't make you feel bad about fighting these babies because they are so weird on the pictures. Like obviously the fake baby, he's just a rubbish bag with a face painted on, and he contributes nothing. He has a combat strength of nothing. Like this super ugly crab baby, it's just a crab. And the torpedo baby, well, I suppose that's pretty bad actually. It's a torpedo with loads of babies on it. But
tied to it, I think, is the word you're looking for.
Yeah.
There's a trebuchet baby, there's a airborne poop baby, there's a half baby.
Yeah.
A fake baby.
A boar baby, which is basically just like half wild boar, half baby. So yeah, basically it's any card that's got the word baby in the title is one that will have to go into the baby armies. But it's not obvious from the picture that what you're looking at is a baby.
And there are like special action cards as well, aren't you? Because there's like the tool cards that, as we said, will give you extra actions. There's cards that are wild provokes that as soon as you draw them, you have to choose one of the armies to provoke. There's ones like the lullaby card. You choose a baby army and discard the top half, rounding up. So there are action cards as well that you can use, as well as drawing monster cards.
I found it more interesting when the action cards were in the game.
Yeah, you don't have any choice either. If someone provokes the army, if you've got any monsters of that type, so if someone provokes the Sky Baby army, if you've got Sky monsters, have to take part in that battle, and so you can use the tactic of thinking, well, everyone else has got massive Sky monster armies, I haven't got any, so I'm just going to take a provoke and make them get rid of their monster armies. That's a strategy that you can use. Richard, I think we know what your thoughts on this game are. Would you like to share them?
I did find it funny when we played it the second time. And that's not normal for a game like this. Normally it would be the first time that you find it the funniest. But I think I found it a little bit frustrating the first time we played it because I had a lot of cards that I couldn't use and I wasn't actually able to make a monster. But I think because we'd shuffled the cards better the second time, and also we'd put in the action cards because it's very much intended, I think, for like at a party kind of thing, to be played by people that maybe don't normally play games.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Because the rulebook's almost like apologetic about having to teach you a few rules about it, and at a certain point it will say, now just stop and just have a game and just learn it by playing, which obviously is a very good way of doing it. But you play it without some of the other rules, and then after you've played your first game it tells you what the rest of the rules are, you get the action cards, stuff like that, and then it was a lot more interesting. And I loved making the monsters, that was really good, but apart from that the gameplay isn't amazing, and I didn't really care who was winning or which army got defeated. It is just fun to turn over the baby army cards and see what babies the monsters are fighting and stuff like that, and just like I say, to read what your monster is like and just be able to make a cool monster. I mean, you could do it without even playing the game. You could just get a load of these cards and just make your own monsters. So although it is kind of cool that they then get to actually do something, even though it's absolutely ridiculous what they do. But as funny games go, I think there are funnier games. I think the Rick and Morty Total Recall, that would be my choice of what to bring out with other people, even if they haven't seen Rick and Morty. I think the stuff that's happening in that is so random and so actually funny, not just random, because that's only funny sometimes, but I think I would prefer that one. But this one for the monster building is quite good, but I think you could I think just going through the cards and having a laugh with people would probably be...
Yeah.
You'd get enough out of this game doing that.
I have to say that for me, I at times laughed when we played these games.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't particularly enjoy it. I mean, as a game, there really isn't much there. It's not something that it's not even to me a filler game particularly.
Yeah, it's a bit simple, isn't it?
Yeah, it's maybe something that, as you say, with people who don't usually play games, that you might have a funny half hour with building these monsters. I think some people will definitely not like the idea of fighting baby armies with large numbers of crazily created monsters. I don't think that's going to be everyone's cup of tea.
Though it is a joke.
It is a joke. It's clearly a joke, and as you said, when you're looking at them, most of the time the babies are so not like babies. I mean, this is an airborne baby poop, and it doesn't look remotely like there's a baby on that picture at all.
And that was a dragon baby. That's really cool.
That's the dragon baby, yeah. But then there are other ones where I think, like the rocket with the babies tied to it. Some might find that somewhat offensive.
Yeah.
But I personally felt that, I don't know, there were times... the one card that really made me laugh, I'll be honest, was this card here that is made of meat and pain. And I don't know why, but for some reason, I just saw that and just fell into hysterics.
It's just funny that you brought that out and made a monster out of it. That's funny.
So I've got a pterodactyl made of meat and pain. I can't remember.
That's pretty good.
But overall, I think this is the kind of game that once you've played it a couple of times or more, that novelty is going to wear off of making those monsters.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think there's enough game there to sustain it after that. I think once that novelty's worn off, you're going to be like, let's just play something else. I mean, you mentioned Rick and Morty. I'd agree that's a better game. I'd also think something like Archer, Once You Go Blackmail, the love letter version of based on the Archer series. That's a better and to me more fun. But that's because I know the show. This isn't a game that I'm particularly proud of owning.
Well, I'm glad you didn't hide it. You have shown everybody.
They have seen my shame, and I must say I do think it's better than Exploding Kittens. There's more game to it than Exploding Kittens.
Right.
But it's still not one I can recommend.
Okay.
That said, it does come in a funky furry box, which is fake fur, and it just looked funny on having the box on the side. But there's so much better games out there.
I like the Pomeranian of Light and Wonder. That was a good card. I mean, that's just one. Yeah.
And you can get a not safe for work deck as well for it, which it doesn't really add anything to the game. It just adds some strange cards. Like you can have a monster with axe nipples and things like that, but it doesn't really add any extra mechanics or anything like that. It's just more cards, but with things on them that you wouldn't play in front of your workmates.
Yeah, if you want people to be a bit grossed out, then you could add those cards.
But overall, as I say, there were cards that when they came out did make me laugh, but I wasn't proud of it.
Who plays a game at work?
Yeah.
That's the other thing.
Well,
all of it's not safe for work. Oh yeah. If you can call this work.
Well, no one's paying me for it, so I'm not going to.
Okay. It's just something we do every week.
We do it for the love of our audience.
Oh, isn't that nice? That's a nice note to end our quest report on. We normally tell people to stay meddlesome, but this is a bit too meddlesome, I think.
Yeah, nothing should be this meddlesome.
Yeah, be slightly less than this in your meddlesome levels.
Farewell, Quester. To find out about other productions by the Meddlesome Meeples, then check out our channel or rendezvous with us at meddlesomemeeples.com. Until next time, Quester, farewell and keep thine axe sharp.